Before this video begins, I just want to announce that Bubble Tea Protein's Black Friday sale is live. 20% off everything from now to the 27th. Also, I'll be launching a second channel for those that's been asking me for my raw workouts, behind the scenes, all the work that I'm putting in that doesn't make it to this channel. You guys can check it out, subscribe, link will be in the description. Now let's get into the workout. Chest and back day on my new 5-day Saiyan split. To be honest, this is the worst I've looked in a very long time, but the best I've felt in even longer time. Like, I can't remember the last time I felt this good training in the gym. My motivation levels and just excitement is just over 9,000. I can't remember the last time I was this excited to hit the next workout. Today is a rest day. I honestly wanted to work out today. I honestly wanted to skip today and just get started. Like, tomorrow I start my new Kaioken phase. This is the last week, what you're seeing on the screen, last week of my Master Roshi phase, where I'm just working on the basics. I'm building the foundation, working on tempo, adjusting machines to find out exactly how I want things and how I'm going to progress at it, and just setting myself up for that Kaioken phase where I kick things up another notch. The training group was probably one of the best things I've done this year. Even in the chat, everyone's just pushing each other to go over 9,000, uplifting, encouraging, talking about what we like, talking about what we need to work on. There's just no Yamchas, all saying just pushing each other to ascend. Is literally the hyperbolic time chamber, which is what I envisioned when I started it. So let's talk about this chest machine real quick. So that first exercise was a mid-back lat bias row, so driving elbows down and back. This chest machine, one of the best chest machines I've ever tried. So first off, it has separate handles, so you can get that deep stretch. As you can see, I'm pushing the handles down into my armpits, as low as my mobility will let me, and it converges at the top, so it fully shortens the pec at the top. And yes, I was going light, but I just can't wait to start stacking some weights on this machine. Like, I got such a crazy chest pump, and even on flat bench, like I can't even remember the last time I hit flat bench. However, yes, I have it in my training program. Just because I don't like flat bench doesn't mean that people with a lagging chest or people in my training program shouldn't hit flat bench. However, this felt amazing, so I'll be a flat bencher for at least this exercise. The only thing I didn't like about this machine is that the bench is high. So unless you're probably like 6'4" and taller, you gotta tuck your legs into the pad. But that's the only downside. Maybe next time I'll try to get plates and put it underneath my feet so I can actually brace myself and then arch a little bit more. Hence, which will give me a better squeeze or a better stretch at the bottom to get even lower into my chest. And then as it converges at the top, get a better contraction. I think that'll be epic. The only thing that's makes it better about the Smith machine is Smith machine, you're kind of stuck in this plane of motion. You can't fully shorten the pec. You fully shorten the pec when your elbows come close together, come in. So on this next exercise, we're just doing single arm pull downs. But let's get into the topic of today's video, and that is training like Goku but looking like Boo. So in October, beginning of October, so about 2 months ago, I decided to go into my first bulking phase that I haven't in a long time. And reason being is because of all these Comic-Cons that I've been doing, all this cosplaying. When I go into a bulking phase, it just doesn't make sense to gain, 5-10 pounds of fat in the next 2 months, only to cut down 2 months later for the next con or whatever it may be. So I always decide to just stay relatively lean, because at that point you're just spinning your wheels, and it's just extra stress on your body versus staying lean the entire time, maybe gaining like 3-4 pounds of fat and just dropping 3-4 pounds right before the con, which I can cut down in a couple weeks. This 7-8 pounds of fat probably will get cut down in the next 4 to 6 weeks, or depending how quick I decide to take it. In the new year, I will be doing a mini cut just to lean down a bit. We'll see how I feel and how lean I decide to go. But to be honest, with pump and good lighting, this looks pretty decent. I'm lucky, like most people, don't hold a lot of fat on my arms, so my arms still look relatively lean. You can still see some shoulder definition and everything, but everything is growing. I've been measuring myself every single month. I'll start doing that on my second channel as well, just showing you guys my progression. Like, yes, I'm gaining fat, and fat, will increase the measurements as well, but the lifts are feeling great. The weights are gonna go up like tomorrow. I'm gonna just straight kill it. We have very low volume, taking sets to failure, and heavy with good form and tempo. Tempo is something that I'm really working on in all my exercises. As you can see, I'm doing a nice 3 count going back, slight pause in the stretch position. The stretch position is something that's being talked about a lot in fitness right now. The stretch position studies show that it's the most hypertrophic part or range in the lift. So you want to make sure you maximize it. So that's why I'm doing a slight, 2 count pause at the back, just getting the maximum stretch, and then converging my elbows together to fully shorten the pec like we talked about earlier. I think in social media, this is something that we'll see a lot of moving forward. A lot of these kids that because of social media want to stay lean, and if this is you, you're that person that's just, maybe you cut down, maybe you're a little bit bigger before you cut down and you're just scared to gain body fat, but your training is really low, your motivation is low, you feel like crap, chances are you probably just need to gain some fat back. You need to go into a bulking phase. Understand that just because you were big before and maybe you had a hard time cutting down once doesn't mean it's going to be just as hard the second time. It's actually going to be easier. Just like when you do something for the first time, like riding a bike for the first time, the second time it gets easier, the third time gets easier. You just get better at it. And same thing with like bodybuilders, like lots of natural bodybuilders, the more shows they do, the better they get at it, the more they know what to feel on their body and everything. And this angle, my arms look tiny, which is another downside of gaining that body fat, because you look smaller. Yes, your body is actually bigger, but your physique is gonna look smaller just because of that illusion. It's funny how you cut down 10 pounds but you look 20 pounds heavier, but you gain 10 pounds and you look 10 pounds smaller or 20 pounds smaller, whatever it may be. You guys get what I'm saying. But here we're doing a lat bias row, slight lean forward, drive your elbows back, and just really squeezing the crap out of my lats. And going back to the topic, maybe it's time for a bulking phase. I always believed in bulking and cutting phases. The reason why I've never done a lot of bulking phases on this channel or during my social media journey is because, one, cosplay, and two, I always felt like I was doing things for the greater good. I was sacrificing my gains to help inspire and motivate and teach others as well. And how I'd grow is by being lean, having a physique that people wanted. And it just catches up to you eventually. So you'll see a lot of these kids, whether they're natural or not, you see a lot of these kids shredded 10%, talking about their bulking, maintaining, whatever it may be. Eventually, it's going to catch up to them, especially if they're doing it natural. A lot of them aren't, or at least I don't think they are. But if they are, eventually you're going to start losing muscle. You're going to start losing motivation. You're going to start losing energy. It's going to catch up to you. Even if your set point is there, it's going to catch up to you, especially if it's too low. So bottom line is, we're going into a bulking phase. If this is you, go into a bulking phase, make some gains. You can always cut down later. Don't let it get into your head. Fitness is a very much so a head game. How you look in the mirror is how you feel, and just don't worry about it. Like, I look like crap, but I feel good, I'm motivated, and I'm gonna ascend. And when I cut down, you guys will see the progress that I made. Next year, 1 year from today, I'm gonna bring out the best physique, or I'm gonna try to bring out the best physique, I'm 35 years old. How much more do I have? But I'm still gonna push it, because that's the ultimate goal. There's no end goal. It's just a mountain. You climb every single day. You just keep on climbing. The day I'll stop climbing is the day I die. And that's it. So, see you guys in the next one.